everybody, and welcome to Upstate Update. It's Sunday, January 28th, and we're coming at you again after a busy weekend. I thought this semester, having Friday off, it would be easier to make the show on time because I'd have an extra day to do stuff, but so far I've had really busy weekends. Yesterday, it was because Sierra and I went to an Orange After Dark event, which is the student activities office. They put on events throughout the year. It's when we went trampolining last semester. This time it was rock climbing, which is really fun. I've never done that before. I know they've got a couple gyms in San Francisco. I think there's one out by the Presidio by our trampoline place, but I hadn't gone, so that was really fun actually. Being Orange After Dark, it didn't start till 9 p.m. That's when we left campus. And we went out, I don't know, not very far into Syracuse to this warehouse that's filled with climbing walls. And they strap us in. There's places where you don't have to be strapped in. There's 50-foot walls, 30-foot walls. It was kind of nuts. Yeah, so I started off on one of the 30-foot walls, one of the easier ones, and I got about halfway up. I'd never done this before, so I was figuring it out as I was going, and I got about halfway up and got stuck. Once I got stuck, I started realizing, like, oh, I'm fairly high and I'm going to fall off. Am I supposed to fall off? What happens, because you're supposed to tell the belay person who's got you on the rope when you want to come down. I'm like, well, if I fall off, what if they drop me? So I had to go back down, and I got a little freaked out by that. But I tried some other stuff and went up a better one of the same height and got all the way to the top. Sierra was really good at this. She would just scramble up the walls like a spider monkey. It was crazy. And we both eventually attempted and succeeded at getting up to the 50-foot ones. That one was nuts. That was crazy. I didn't look down the whole way, which I know is what you're supposed to do, but I didn't even notice, and I didn't realize how high I was till I got to the top, and I was like, alright, I can't go any further, there's just one more, and I've gotten to the top, I'm done, and I look down to signal my person, and I'm like, oh, ha, I can't even see you, because you're so far down. So, that was a little crazy, but I don't know, about this time last semester I went whitewater river rafting. It was also something that freaked me out a little bit. So that's what college is for, and I had a great time doing both. Show's delayed today also because I went to an MLK Day celebration. I know MLK Day was a while ago, but apparently Syracuse has been doing this for 33 years. They have a whole program. Angela Rye, who some of you may have seen on CNN, was the speaker. Fun fact, I think Aday's related to her, because I remember him saying something about that. She went viral. I can't even remember when, but I think Aday knows or is related to Angela Rye. So we went and heard her speak. We missed the dinner because there weren't enough tickets, but we went and heard her speak and saw a bit of the ceremony. It was pretty cool. Dr. King spoke at Syracuse at least once, possibly several times. I have a class in the building where he delivered his speech, Sims Hall. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And Angela Rye was very good. She was rushed, and I think she was annoyed at her team. So her speech wasn't as polished as I think it could have been, but she's an amazing speaker, and her words were very powerful even as she sort of moved along through her points. And this week was also my first full week of classes, although the only difference really was having Monday, and the only extra class was the CRS speech class lecture. I'm not sure if my clicker works correctly. We'll have to see tomorrow. But I enjoyed it. It was actually very brief. The lecture was boom, 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 not a very long class period. So that was interesting. And the rest of other stuff just sort of got into week 2 and fully into swing. For BDJ 200, we're talking about writing stories. We covered a ESPN play-by-play guy, actually, Mike Cousins, who graduated from here in 2010. He was in town to call the Syracuse-Boston College game, and he took a little bit of time to talk to a room full of mostly broadcast students before the game. So that was cool. I have the whole audio file, and I've got to write a story on it for tomorrow's class. Deadline. We're on deadline. That's kind of fun. Still in Newhouse Comm 101. We had our first real lecture, and we had a lot to cover. Our professors promised us that the lectures would not always be like this, but he went boom! Speed reading. Everybody was just like, how are we supposed to write? Nerd class, we spent the whole week discussing The Hobbit. There were hobbits. They hobbited. Some of them hobbited better than others. I'm having my first experience with work due Sunday, which is interesting. I have CRS work, not CSD, CRS work and Com 101 work due tonight at midnight, which is kind of interesting. I've never had work due on Sundays before. In other news, I went to the gym this week twice, and combined with rock climbing yesterday, it was a banner week for physical activity. I feel a little better. I didn't hurt myself this time. I didn't overexert, and I feel like I'm putting the use of the 10 pounds I gained last semester, and I feel a little bit less, like, shrimpy. I also completed sort of redoing my room after I got cited for illegal posters last year. The comics that were up there are no longer there, and the stuff that used to be behind me above the bulletin board has been moved. I put all kinds of stuff on my closet doors now, and Sierra and me cleaned out my closet that's not the clothes closet. There's another little closet with 3 or 4 shelves, and we cleaned that out. So my room is now completely ready, and we fixed up under the bed. So my room is perfectly exactly as I wanted it at the beginning of the year. In January, but still I'm glad I have it, so that this is kind of a template for basically what my room is going to be. It's going to travel. My room will be either on South Campus or in another dorm next year, and off campus in apartments or houses eventually. But this is sort of what my rooms are going to look like and how I want them organized and where stuff is. So I'm happy with that. Daily drawings continue. You can follow Wyatt Makes Art on Instagram. For those of you that do not have Instagram, I am going to post a compendium of the January drawings with their captions on my Radio WJBP website, and there'll be a link from that on Facebook, and I'll talk about it I think that'll go up around the same time as the next Upstate update. So next weekend, I think those will go up around the same time if I can help it. And so people who don't have Instagram can see what I've been drawing for the past month. I haven't missed a day yet, and it's been fun. I'm glad I'm doing it. So that's about it. What's on deck next week? Nothing so far. I don't know really what's on deck. We'll have to see. I don't really have anything planned. Just continuing to figure stuff out at the beginning of the semester and doing work. I will update you all on what goes on in the next Upstate update. So, this is going to do it for Radio WJBP and Upstate Update. I am your host, Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Signing off. We will see you next time.